What's up, guys? Derek here with Junkyardawg. I want to take some time and go over the twin turbo build of what we've done with Junkyardawg here. I haven't taken much time. It's been super busy between 5 weekends in a row of racing, trying to get the car on track and doing everything that we possibly could to make it compete. But we did complete a 70-minute race at Trans Am, 100 miles at Road Atlanta. Car did really well there for what it was at the very least, and I'm excited to show you guys everything that's been done. Not a lot of process of what it took to build this, but this turbo kit was as custom of a turbo kit as it could ever be. Every bracket, every bolt, every line, everything we had to make, think about, put it together, try, find out if it works. Some things didn't work, and now I think we've got a finished product that works pretty well. It's been work with Serpent Stangs Racing and some of the work myself also, as it's kind of been a battle back and forth between us. Serpent Stang, Steve over there, likes really clean cut, nice work, and I'm the guy that I'm just trying to get to a race. I just want it to be done and ready. So there's a lot of stuff that's been done to this car that he isn't super happy with, in the sense of like his approval, that I've really had to just kind of push through and be like, hey man, I'm just trying to get there. We'll clean it up. We'll make it look better later. So some of the stuff that I've done that may not look the best, I'll definitely make sure to point that out. But the overall package itself, this thing's beautiful, works well, and honestly, I think it's the most badass GT500 in the country. So good. So as you can see here, the turbos are located in the back, underneath of the back seat. This was done for a couple of reasons. The first was weight distribution, and then the other was because of our SLA suspension that's coming in up front. The turbos didn't fit where the Hellion kit allowed it to go. So this is something that Steve had actually come up with there at his shop. Him and Hunter, made brackets that allowed this to bolt to the IRS and the area here underneath of the back seat. And they actually sit in here pretty well. The entire exhaust system here was all custom made, handmade by them from front to back. So all the way up to the headers, which cut and fabbed and used the original Hellion headers that had been put T-bolt flanges on those, and then ran and made that exhaust all the way there from front to back. It's got the wastegates here that dump out onto the ground at the rear part of the car. System works well. Side exhaust here that comes out the side of the car like a true Trans Am car does. And then as far as our lines and stuff, these were all rubber. I changed these all to hard lines. These are all AN4 hard stainless steel brake lines with AN4 fittings, kind of run all the way through and through, that run to the turbos. As you can see in here, boost controller mounted back here to the IRS. Lots of zip ties kind of holding lines and stuff up out of the way, as we work to come up with brackets and things like that that are going to work. Line routing was a little tough, in the sense of trying to have to mock it up. It was best to use the rubber hose and kind of try to figure out where to route everything and where everything needed to go, but everything's in there solid and tight now. Won't have to worry about melting lines and things being in the way. The oil scavenge with these turbos sitting low, that was a difficult thing, was trying to figure out how not to have these turbos smoking the entire time. These are Turbosmart turbos. First time using them, they seem to work really well. So what we did was took the oil feed line, and this was my design. Steve wasn't super up to par with this, but it did work at Road Atlanta. We took the lines, ran them down here to where the GT500 has this rear skid plate and diffuser. Clean my camera up here. Much better. This diffuser, we've kind of used it as a plate to just kind of stack stuff on. I have a secondary differential cooler here that was needed because my differential temps were running so high and so hot, so that's mounted up here. And then behind that, put a sump tank behind this that has 2 inlets, so this side and then the other side feeds into it. And then on the back side, a little tough to see here, there's an out, and instead of venting it to atmosphere, we plugged that to try to create a vacuum to help pull the oil out of the turbos and actually get it to the sump tank. There's not a lot of grade or room of grade there as far as falling from the turbos down to the tank, but there is a little bit, and I figure with that and some vacuum it should be enough, and it did appear for the most part to be enough. I think we had a little bit of smoking, but nothing major. And I also had blown an axle boot the last race too, so some of that smoke and may have been coming from that, as we had seen a bunch of it had kind of gotten caked in onto the exhaust during the race. So that line and that stuff runs all the way up to the front, through here, up over the steering rack, and then runs up there to a scavenge pump. And that scavenge pump is what pulls the oil all the way from the back. That's the scavenge pump that allows it to pull oil and air, so it doesn't need to keep a consistent prime the entire time, and it's belt driven. And then we run the line from here, and I took it and I ran it down into the side of the oil pump. So this actually was the low level oil sensor. That's where this went, which was, I think, an M20. Ran an M20 to an M8, or no, an AN8 fitting, and then used this check valve from Radium to feed the oil back in, so that it pushes the oil into the oil pan and doesn't allow it to like come back in or create any kind of backup. I wasn't sure how that was going to work, but it actually worked really well. And then with this unhooked, it doesn't tell you if you have low oil anymore, but I mean, realistically, there's never a reason that you don't know of that should dump all of your oil out at once, unless you've had some kind of contact or issue, and at that point you're probably screwed anyways on track. So that was just a dummy light switch. It doesn't leave any light on actually with it unhooked. No light is on. It doesn't say anything about low oil, so there's no effect. There's no effect with that there. And I honestly think that this is a huge upgrade improvement from the Hellion kit. The Hellion kit puts the oil back into the valve cover, and it causes a huge amount of oil and blowout when road racing. Drag racing, short periods of time, is probably not a big deal, but I was filling up catch cans. Here is one of them, giant catch can, and then I have another one underneath of the hood on the other side, which I'll show you guys here in a second. So don't think that I'm missing anything under here worth showing you guys about. So obviously out here working in the nice Florida Shine on my portable hoist, which is awesome. As usual, this process would not be possible without them. All right, so I'm probably showing some of the videos and some of the pictures and stuff like that before. Kind of right now, kind of working on cleaning up the engine bay and some stuff. So, but I'll kind of show you guys what's been done here. So, GT350 intake, upper intake, every single pipe, every tube that we have has all been HD clamped. We did use a mix of Vibrant and Evil Energy ones. We weren't sure how the Chinese Evil Energy ones were going to work or hold up. We tried them. They actually welded pretty well and seemed to be okay. I think some of their pins and things are a little on the cheap side. One of them we had to replace already, and their O-rings, I mean, they seem to seal. A little cheap and flimsy, but seem to seal. They are a fraction of the cost, like 15 or 20% of the cost of the Vibrant ones. So when you're doing a build like this, I think that had 8 of them in total, definitely a saver being able to use those for sure. So here's the other catch can. This is the GT500 road race catch can from Fat House. Right now, just changing the filter, getting the filter and stuff, cleaned out of there. I've got